And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's Monday. It's time to get back into things. Well, a part of Australia is today celebrating Queen's Birthday, but here in Queensland, we will have it in October. So anyway, it is a wonderful day out there in Brisbane, 13 degrees today, and the weather is sunny. So it is nice and cool. So, it is a few months of the year when we get to, experience a bit of cold here in Brisbane. Apart from that, it is always very, very good. Well, as I mentioned today, that we will be looking at a few of the functions and events taking place in Brisbane. First, we will look at the International Yoga Day, the starting of that, which was organized by DJJS, which is Divya Jyoti Jagriti Sansthan of Brisbane branch, supported by Councillor Angela Owen, our Honorary Council for India in Queensland, Mrs. Archana Singh, and also supported by or endorsed by the Indian High Commission from Canberra. So it is a very, very good function and good event. Well, why don't we first of all take a look at that? Let's see how it goes.
After that, what we will do, we will rotate our waist. So, open your legs around 250 rotation, exhaling. So, better for you while doing this, close your eyes, feel your breath, which is coming in and out, your inhalation and exhalation process. So, we will start from inhaling.
To your waist, your sides.
Feel that stretch in your waist.
Transfer to your toes.
As you can see, there's quite a lot of people there, and you can hear the drone camera going on as well.
For your knees, those who have trouble with your knees, so like some people feel pain in the knee, it is good for them, but please make sure do not do this one with the jerk. And first observe me before doing this, and then you can do it. And as a person we are doing, we have to do with our breathing. So you have to bend a little bit like that, and your halfway inhale, halfway exhale. So you can see me. Try to make a circle with your knee. Please do all the movement with your breathing.
Bringing your feet together, support your knees. Both the knees support each other.
To our feet now. So it is what you're supposed to do. Put your hands on your waist this way. Raise your one leg, and you have to.
Are you come from the council?
And of course, while the yoga is happening, relaxation there as
Ladies
well.
and gentlemen, here we are at the Kennamite Park, and today, as we have seen from the scenes before, that such a good crowd has come out, such a good turnout at this. So right now we're going to talk with Sanjeev. So Sanjeev, once again, welcome to the show.
Namaskar, Umeshi. Thanks, Australia India Radio. Thanks for coming, and thank you everyone who's listening this one. And today is a beautiful day. As you know, today we are it's the beginning of International Day of Yoga of 2021, and started from Australia, and we are very lucky in Brisbane We are celebrating this International Day of Yoga since 2017. It's nearly now more than 5-6 years, and every year we are getting good number of people and getting good response from the community. We are doing a Vilakshan Yoga over here. I just tell you something about why Vilakshan Yoga, because we are from DJJS, DJJS, and it's run under the guidance of His Holiness Shri Ashutosh Maharaj Ji. And the Vilakshan means when you look after mind, body and soul. It's not only a physical postures, but you can attain through yoga, you can attain a higher self in meditation as well. And I will also correct one more thing. It's not a yoga. It's actual word is yoga. Yoga means to unite. To whom you unite? To unite yourself with that omnipresent, that God, that Almighty. And yoga is the first step through which you can see the highest self. And I think with the Council Injiravan, Indian High Commission, everyone is helping to, and we all together celebrating this International Day of Yoga from since 2017. And we are very thankful to our media partner, Australian India Radio, because they are our long-term asset partner with all our events, not only this event. And we are seeing that a lot of people come out and showing the spirit. It's a very multicultural thing. And everyone, you can see the people from all the communities, they are performing yoga over here. This is a good message in such a COVID time when everyone is stressed out with a lot of tensions and other things, and suddenly people come out and showing some spirit and showing some positive energy, getting some positive energy. Yoga is all about the positive energy, and we are here for this. And thank you very much for bringing us on in front of all of you at Australian India Radio. Omeshi, thank you very much.
And Sanjeev, just before I let you go, in today's day and age, when we have the worldwide pandemic which is happening, so you know what you have spoken about mind, body and soul, and people remain calm and yoga. So how does spirituality and yoga assist people in, especially in today's day and age when there is this world pandemic happening?
Oh, this is a wonderful question, Meji. Because we see our whole life system has been changed. From we put back into the home from the offices, everybody is sitting home and tired, sitting more hours on the table. We don't have any more physical exercise anymore. And kind of when we stay all the time home, this is one more thing, there's a lot of domestic violence cases are happening. So people are more losing stress, balance, some people lose their business, their jobs. And yoga is such a certainly thing which creates a lot of positive energy. And you question that how it will help to elevate your soul. Because soul is something which is why we get this body, just because of the soul. And how we can elevate, we need a certain technique for this. For the technique for this, the Brahmgyan technique. And the meditation based on Brahmgyan. That's what Divya Jyoti is imparting with the people, Brahmgyan based meditation. And through which you can understand who you are, why you come here, and how you can achieve the highest goal of your life. It's not about materialism. Pandemic give us one thing, teach us one thing, that we are here not forever. Man was running after all these things, worldly things, but suddenly he realized, he or she can go anywhere, anytime from this world. Now people start thinking about themselves. They become a little bit more selfish. Selfish here is very important for us. At least we do something for ourselves. So that's why I think yoga is such a thing which will unite, combine, not only externally but internally as well, through your mind, body and soul. And Vilakshan Yoga today, under the guidance of His Holiness Shri Ashutosh Maharaj, is playing a wonderful part and is also playing worldwide. We are doing this event and we are helping people with the Brahmgyan based meditation techniques, and so here as well.
Thank you very much and keep up the wonderful work, and it is so good to see that so many people are supported, and they've also got the support of Indian High Commission and the Council.
And thanks for the also support from media partner Rameshi, and you always supporting the community very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, once again we have the pleasure of joining us on the show. Here is Councillor Angela. Councillor, once again welcome to the show.
Namaste, namaskaram, namushka, sat sri akal, kemcho, swagatam, vanakkam, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everybody.
And it's wonderful to have you back, and you have been supporting this International Yoga Day now for quite a few years. How has it been so far?
It's been absolutely great to bring International Yoga Day into the local community, and most importantly, have it here in a park where people can feel comfortable in nature, but also help ground themselves. And this is so very important for everybody's well-being, particularly when for many people they've been inside due to COVID conditions or restricted in doing things. So to get outside and to really experience yoga in the park is fantastic for them.
It is wonderful that you've been getting people out of their homes and into the park, and especially in times like this when there is a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic happening. How important is spirituality and yoga?
It certainly is key to everybody's well-being. I know a lot of people have experienced many difficulties, and particularly being separated from loved ones for extended periods is taking a toll. And when we reconnect with ourselves, when we get that sense of balance and well-being, it can help us in our everyday lives, and that is why yoga is so important.
And it is very well said, and it is very, very important. So here today in the park we have quite a few activities happening apart from the yoga that is the main theme as well. So did you manage to put all this together?
Well, I've been fortunate that I've partnered for many years for this event with DJJS, and the people from DJJS who do a wonderful job in bringing the yoga side of it together. We also have DJJS, which do the Chinese energy healing, which is a great way to supplement everything on a multicultural level, particularly in this community. And we also have Achana Singh, my great friend, the Honorary Consul for India, here today, and she has always formed this partnership with me through the High Commission of India. So it's a great way for the wider community to learn about the history of yoga, learn the traditional yoga, but also to connect on a multicultural level and share the experiences.
And once again, thank you very much for doing that. Many people talk about the inclusivity, we're bringing everyone together, and you actually are here actually doing it in the community, and that is wonderful to see. Once again, thank you so much.
And also, can I say that it is very important that these are events that the Srina Council funds right throughout Brisbane, but this is something that the Calamvale Ward Office, through myself and also through the Lord Mayor's Community Fund, has funded for a number of years. Now, I would also like to put in a plug for next weekend as well, the FICQ Day of Yoga as well, on the 20th of June, and that will be over at Indooroopilly, and I've also supported that financially through the Lord Mayor's Community Fund for Calamvale Ward. And also on the 10th of July, if anyone's not doing anything, come out to Calamvale Ward once again, because we will have the Kite Festival, and the Gujarati community of Queensland is partnering with me on that one to have a great Kite Festival out in Pollara Parkland. So we look forward to everybody joining us then.
On your seat.
Hello everyone, and it's fantastic to offer my support once again to India Day Fair, which will be held in Brisbane on the 15th of August. This year it will be moving to Suncook Piazza.
Yes, and Councillor is also supporting our India Day Fair, and will bring a detailed interview on that in another segment. Well, as you have seen that, it's a wonderful scenes coming out of that park there, and it is always a pleasure to see so many people come together. As I mentioned, the councillor was there, and many community organizations were represented there as well. Now, as I mentioned, that the other function that we'll talk about is the Brisbane Bar Soccer Sports Club, who held that their AGM, and I'd like to, thank them for having me over there as well, to assist with the AGM, conduct the AGM, and hand out some prizes. Here's some of the glimpses from there. And always good to see the youngsters coming in and taking charge as well. So it is always very good to see the young ones. And congratulations to the incoming committee because in our club, which has survived from such a long time, and always good to see that that vision has been kept alive by all new committees coming in every year. And as I mentioned, it's always very, very good to see the youngsters and the young ones coming in and taking part. Now, in this photo, you see on my right is Viswa Nair, who is the current president of QFFI. I had been the founder president. And on my left there is Salamasi, who is the president of BA at this point in time. So wonderful and well done. So the two big organizations where I had the opportunity of assisting in the very beginning stages. And getting the formalities of the AGM out of the way there as well. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's been wonderful that we could be there and support the youngsters and the young and the incoming committee. As I mentioned, it is always good to see that there are youngsters who are willing to take charge and move the thing forward. Well, right now, let's take a quick look at a message from our sponsors as we move on further into the show.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
And real estate is the well. Don't forget that on Wednesday we have the real estate update with Usha Chandra right here on this channel. Well, right now it's time to go to some of the news. And making news is, of course, let's first of all take a look at Victoria and see, are they on track to ease those restrictions?
I don't want to give a false indication. What I will say, and what I've said a number of times throughout this outbreak, and when we announced the circuit breaker lockdown, then we announced further week, then we announced easing of restrictions. My expectation, as I said a few days ago, my expectation is by later in the week, we'll be in a position to announce further easing of restrictions for regional Victoria and further easing of restrictions for metropolitan Melbourne. So that's my expectation. We've heard, as I'm sure you know, one additional case, primary close contact already in quarantine. That's a good thing. But we're not over this outbreak yet, and we've got to drive it into the ground. But my expectation is we will be in a position later in the week to announce a further easing of restrictions.
So there you are. It will be further in the week when the full easing of the restriction is announced. But of course, as you mentioned, that it would be based upon the results and if nothing else happens. Well, right now, as we know, our Prime Minister has been on an overseas trip, been to London, England, after a long time, an international trip.
Scott Morrison is seeking the support of world leaders to defend Australia over rising trade tensions with China.
Things have changed, and the risks of miscalculation and conflict are very present and growing.
All this language I see come out of the Commonwealth Government about us going to war with China. I have never heard something so insane in my life.
Setting the scene for his meeting with world leaders at a G7 in Cornwall this weekend, Mr Morrison calls for united action to stop China using trade sanctions to bully nations.
Competition does not have to lead to conflict, nor does competition justify coercion.
Why we would attack our biggest customer, to whom we sell 20 times as many products as we buy from, I don't get.
Scott Morrison calling for reform of the World Trade Organisation.
Where there are no consequences for coercive behaviour, there is little incentive for restraint.
For a Prime Minister who pre-pandemic warned against
a negative globalism,
this is somewhat of a reset.
I'm pleased that the Prime Minister is now talking about the WTO, which is an important institution.
And with Donald Trump gone and Joe Biden keen to reassert a rules-based order, Australia is well placed to push that message at the G7 talks.
It's been so long since I've done one of these, I've forgotten the drill.
There's not much point in smiling.
At this weekend's G7 summit, global security's front of mind for world leaders.
There's never been a more important time for Australia to be sitting around such a table.
Democracy, human rights, the rule of law. The US and the UK stick up for those two things together.
A free and open Indo-Pacific, so central to Australia's interests, but increasingly so much more central to global stability.
I told the Prime Minister we have something in common. We both married way above our station.
It's been revealed that senior members of the royal family, including the Queen, will arrive here this evening to meet with G7 leaders.
Are you supposed to do anything as if you're enjoying it?
Yes, and we're definitely. Yep, good. They've got the answer. That one. Good.
Thank you, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, for giving up your precious time for this short meeting.
I don't think this is going to work. There is an I know there is.
Boris Johnson opened the summit.
We need to make sure that we learn the lessons from the pandemic.
Scott Morrison will spend the weekend ahead meeting leaders, but perhaps the most important meeting will be with the US President Joe Biden.
We were particularly keen to have the discussion with both partners.
Have they got your back on China?
Our alliance with the United States, the relationship we have with the United Kingdom has never been stronger. We see the world in similar ways.
We see the world in similar ways, as you said, and here's the meeting with Joe Biden and Boris Johnson.
To have the rather unique opportunity for a trilateral meeting between President Biden, Prime Minister Johnson and myself, that is not a usual opportunity that we have had in these meetings in the past, and very much welcome the opportunity to do it here in Carbis Bay.
How many times did the word China come up in the trilateral meeting?
Well, you wouldn't expect me to be going into any detail about the specific discussions. What we had the opportunity today was to discuss the Indo-Pacific situation more broadly. Australia has no greater friends than the United States and the United Kingdom, and we've been working together on our respective security issues for a very long time. And so we had a good opportunity to talk about those today and look to see how we can further cooperate in the future. The situation only reinforces the need for us to have deeper cooperation. It's a great opportunity, I think, for liberal democracies and advanced economies alike to be able to align their thinking and their outlooks on how they're seeing issues around the world. And that relates to how we're responding, particularly on COVID.
And our response to COVID as well is what the Prime Minister highlighted on. Well, of course, Queen is very strong in her ways and traditions that she always insists are being upheld. And such was the case when she insisted that she would be cutting the cake with the traditional sword.
As a health and safety, and ably supported by your Royal Highnesses, I think.
Right, very dangerous. I don't think this is going to work.
With two hands.
There is a knife there as well. What?
There is a knife into it.
I know there is. This is something that is more unusual.
That's slicing through.
This is all the Lord Lieutenant's idea.
And after that, she attended a scaled back trooping formation. And the good old traditions being upheld, and it is so wonderful to see that all that's being done. Well, right now here, coming back to Australia, remember we looked at this 10-year boy who survived the shark attack.
I thought it might have been a dugong at first, but then it came closer and got faster and faster. And then I thought it might have been a reefie, but then it tried to bite me, and then it went for me, missed, then went for me, got one of my flippers, then went for me, got a flipper and my leg.
Wow, wonderful. And what a way of explaining that, kids, they just know the best. Well, that Australia has the largest number of utes and SUVs. Why is that the case? As you know, the biggest sellers at this point in time, they reckon, are the dual cabs.
Apart from the big increase in household consumption, the greatest contributor to the strong March quarter GDP figure was business investment, and most of that was machinery and equipment. It rose by 10.3% in that quarter, on top of close to 10% in the December quarter. And guess what that was all about? Utes. The biggest selling vehicle in May was the Toyota Hilux. Light commercial sales passed passenger vehicles for the first time in February, and sales totalled 23,177 in May, 3,000 more than the number of passenger cars. SUVs and light commercial vehicles now dominate Australian car sales. And the SUVs are apparently not being bought by households. It's all business. Why is there a ute boom? Well, because the government decided to make it happen. In the 2020-21 budget last October, the Treasurer announced that businesses with turnover of less than $5 billion could immediately deduct the cost of capital assets at a cost to the budget of $29.5 billion over 2 years. Last month, he added another $18.1 billion to that and extended it. It was the biggest single item in the budget.
So a tradie can buy a new ute, a farmer a new harvester, and a manufacturer expand their production line.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what the government is absolutely not subsidising are electric vehicles.
Well, we're not into subsidising luxury cars. It's not something we're going to do as a government. I mean, people who have the money to buy a luxury car are welcome to go out and do that, and that's their choice. Good on them.
That was the Minister for Emissions Reduction. But subsidising diesel utes? No problem.
Yes, and quite well analysed there. Well, the other point, which we'll probably discuss on Wednesday, is the housing market. What is happening with young Australians and the housing market scene?
It's become a hot commodity through the pandemic. Strong demand and prices surging. Not for vaccines, I'm talking about housing. Great for existing homeowners, but the flip side is that getting into the market is harder. About 2/3 of us agree owning a home isn't really an option for young Australians anymore. It's a problem in all states, plus in urban, regional and rural areas. Some states have higher levels of agreement than others, and WA was the state least likely to agree. Even if we can't buy, we still need a roof over our heads, but most of us think getting somewhere affordable is getting too hard. 44% of us in the Australia Talks survey said Australia's doing a very poor job when it comes to affordable housing. Add in the 32% who think the country is doing a somewhat poor job,
And we will look at all of that in detail on Wednesday with Usa Chandra right here on this channel. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's always wonderful to see you, wonderful to have your company. Right now, we're going to take a close look at some of the functions and events that would be taking place right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have time for in this segment. It's been wonderful having your company. And remember that there's so much that's been happening out there. Look, if you have a function or event that you'd like us to feature on here, we're quite happy to do that. Please do contact our sales and marketing team, and we'll gladly bring you over there. And if you have any topic that you'd like to talk about, do contact our editorial team, and we'll tee in our time to get you on air and interview you. You can come to the studio, or we can get you in via our video link as well. So once again, on this 14th day of June, it's goodbye from me until tomorrow. Weather outside is 13 degrees now, gone up 2 degrees, and it is sunny. Until tomorrow, it's goodbye from me. Have a wonderful day, and most importantly, remain safe.